Hi, hello, welcome back to another episode of The Reality Is. I'm here with my smug looking brother. Hello.
Hey, buddy, how was your trip?
Oh, have we not spoken since my trip?
No, I just assumed you went on another one.
No, the only trips I've taken to are the bathroom. So,
Oh,
yeah. No, I'm great. I'm doing great. I'm doing splendid actually. Every weekend is something for our lovely cousin's wedding and
hmm
I'm exhausted.
quick question for you. How are your dances coming along?
They're great in my head. I'm in
Yes.
of the 13 songs that we're doing, I have one, two, three, four, five done, and I still need to learn three more. So,
Gotcha. It's interesting that you said that they're great in your head because that has been my experience also. I think I'm only practicing two dances. One that I am doing with the boys and one that already know about. And what it turns out is what I realized as you get older, it's the lower body. The lower body is what fails me.
the legs.
Uh, the legs. I can't. They don't move at the speed that I think that they're going to move at in my head, and then by the time I catch up to the step, we're already four beats behind, and we're all screwed.
Let me tell
Right?
you something. Same issue here, and then as a mother of two
Oh
children
god.
who
Here we
also
go.
no, listen, it's a body issue. As a
Uh
mother of two children who also breastfed two children for 2
oh
years each almost, right? Things are not gravity has not been so kind to me.
yeah.
So the additional thing is that you're very aware of not just your legs moving slowly, but then
hmm
also your extra like rolls, like extra skin rolls that just like sag on your body now. They're like an additional movement that happens. So you're like, how do I get that skin to move at the same
hmm
time as my legs, who are also already two beats behind?
Exactly.
So
It's
it's
that extra mass is what they see aunties and uncles called saman. The saman,
a
the
little luggage,
luggage,
a
a little.
little our luggage that we're carrying with us.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, we have so many things to cover today. I looked at
hmm
my notes and I was like, this might be a 2-hour episode.
Ooh.
Okay, first of all, I want to start with my favorite topic. I feel like nothing brings me more joy than talking about the fucking royals, as you know.
Yep.
Did you see that King Charles unveiled his new portrait?
I just saw a link to it, but I have not seen the
I would
portrait
love to get
myself.
a live reaction
Hold
of
on.
the portrait right here on the podcast. Okay, you're pulling it
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
up. You're pulling it up. And here we go. Three,
I lo-
2, 1.
Holy. um, for a person that famously got himself embroiled in a maxi pad conversation,
Yeah.
this background is why is it so bloody? What's going on here?
Ask, believe, receive. Okay. This is manifestation at its finest. Okay. He said, I wish to be a tampon swirling down the toilet beneath you.
hmm
And Camilla said, I'll make all your dreams come true, baby.
This is
It's
it's
jarring.
it's jarring. It's a lot. Why is it like that? I don't what emotion am I supposed to get from this? Because I'm scared.
It also
Bec-
like reminds me of like the gif of Elmo with his arms up and the fire behind him of like it's like a little bit of that. It's just like it's like to some degree I say maybe Charles is giving a nod to the bloodthirst of this empire and that's what his legacy is covered in. It's that
um,
it's actually covered in the blood of the people that they've killed to be where they
yeah,
are.
the blood that's been spilled, but because his uniform is also red, it
Uh-huh.
looks like a disembodied head floating in a
Uh-huh.
pool of blood,
Uh-huh.
and then you just see the hands.
Uh-huh.
This is
Now, one thing I want
it's
to know, Raheel, about the hands. Why don't you zoom into the hands for a second?
ooh.
Normal size hands. Charles. Charles. We know what you're packing, okay? And it's not regular phalanges. Okay.
Not only do we know, we love and we admire those sausage fingers. We love the fact that you have those fingers. Don't take those away from us.
Those fucking sausage link ass fingers of yours.
Yeah.
Don't. First of all, Camilla loves those fingers. Ugh, but it's
Ugh.
true. Anyway, the portrait's
Um,
pretty kind to him because I'm like, in the portrait, he doesn't look hideous and his fingers are normal size while he is still covered in blood or fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
His face looks pretty. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying, like, where would you hang this up? This does not feel
It's
like.
gonna go up in the palace. It's his official portrait,
That's
like as
wild, man.
king. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it.
I
Yeah.
you know what? It it makes me respect Charles more. I think that this is like, I think he's trying to show some sort of personality here with this. It is definitely a statement piece,
So
right?
if you watch the video where he revealed it, which I'll send to you after we're done recording, he actually kind of like pulls back in shock when it's
Oh, really?
revealed to him and he says it's really red. And so I don't think that he was prepared for it to be that. Like, I don't know if the artist who made the painting, maybe he was pulling a fast one. Either way, I love it. You know what?
Hmm.
I appreciate it. So real Jonathan, that's his Instagram handle. Jonathan Yu. Shout out to you for whatever it is that you've done here because it's great.
Is Jonathan you a man of Asian descent?
I think he might be, yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised that he's like, I'll fucking show you. I love it.
I kind of love it. I kind of actually want this as like a poster. Would that be awesome?
I mean, I think people wouldn't like I think you would maybe need a caption or something or like maybe
To explain it?
uh-huh.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Also anyway, TMZ reported that he's not been well, King Charles, and that most recently he has lost all sense of taste.
Oh, lucky Camilla.
Just a tasteless fucking king of England.
uh,
Oh, Chucky. All right.
Chuck.
Anyway, let's move on. There's too many topics to cover. Now I did tease to you that there is
Hmm.
going to be a sports story that I'd like to share with you that is also intersecting with my favorite thing, Bravo.
Hmm.
And let's just talk about the universe for a second.
Oh, we're going. All right. Keep
I
it small. I
I
get it.
feel I feel like, do you believe in serendipity?
I believe in manifestation.
Okay. Well, I think that those are all kind of similar things.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that there was something in the universe that said many weeks ago to you, I have to tell my sister about this Shohei Otani guy.
Yeah.
And you first introduced him to me a year ago. And I was like, damn, he's hot. And then you were like,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's rich. And then you
Hmm.
were like, and he's embroiled in this scandal because his translator stole money from him. And you
Yeah.
gave us weeks and weeks and weeks of information that, frankly, I don't think I care that much about. But it's important that you did. And a lesson for me in life that I should listen to you maybe sometimes. Because guess what, Raheel? Last week we learned that Ipe, the
Hmm.
process through which Ipe had reportedly attempted to pay off his debts, the process involved wiring the money he stole from Shohei to
Hmm.
an associate of a booker or a bookie,
A bookie. Yeah. Bookkeeper.
a
Or
bookmaker.
not a bookmaker. Sorry.
Yeah, a bookmaker in California. And then so he sent it to the associate. The associate then deposited the money into gambling accounts at casinos in California and Las Vegas. So he didn't even directly go to this booker or bookie that he's been involved in, whose name is Matthew Boyer.
Hmm.
He was involved through some sort of an associate. So the
Yeah.
associate, basically his employee, is the one that, got this whole thing going and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't even like I'm assuming that this California bookie probably has rules and follows the rules and probably has ways of verifying like, people's identities and stuff like
Hmm.
that or whatever or money. As as you've mentioned, it's a big sum of money. Well, we've identified who this associate was. The associate was a cast member on The Real Housewives of Orange County.
No.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So last season, there was a new cast member on the show called Jen. And Jen has this, like, all these housewives, they have these crazy backstories where it's like,
Hmm.
I was married for so many years and then I ended up having an affair. And I met this guy named Ryan and we met at a gym and all this stuff. And Ryan and I have been together all these years. And Ryan is like a total fuck boy. His name is Ryan Boyajian. And so he's like, just like a douche. He looks like he dresses like In Sync from like 2001. He's
Hmm.
just like the smarmiest looking guy. Anyway, he also sucks because apparently he's been sending his dick pics to other women. Just like a shit guy. Anyway, that's the guy that Ipe had been working with to wire Shohei's money to wherever he needed to send it to in
To
Vegas for
the
gambling.
Matthew. Yeah, this guy looks like he is a real piece of shit.
Yeah. And so now the cameras are back up because there's nothing that housewives love more
Hmm.
is than when their frenemies, spouses or partners turn out to be pieces of shit. So,
So this is this an active story right now, or are you just finding out about
well,
it?
they're filming. So
Ooh.
where it's gonna get covered next season, which is very exciting. So that's why I should maybe not scroll so much on my phone when you're talking to me about sports
Exactly.
things.
Pay attention. You never know.
You never know. And also shout out to all of the listeners who flooded my DMs and my mentions with,
Hmm.
did you see this? You have to talk to Raheel about this.
Thank you for the heads up, and I appreciate those people actually listening, unlike you.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. You don't have to appreciate me. I'm just your sister. Your
Hmm.
only sister. Okay. Anyway, speaking of sports, we have to talk about this fucking bullshit. Okay. Harrison Butker.
Oh.
Okay.
Just to clarify, because I know the background hasn't changed, but you are recording from your kitchen, right?
Yeah, I'll be making sandwiches between my takes, obviously, and child rearing and all of that. Anyway,
Hmm.
Harrison Butker, the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, the most
Yeah.
the most macho um, position, would you
Position.
say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Well, that and punter.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to talk about legs? We've been talking about legs a lot too.
Hmm.
Great legs, I'm sure, on Harrison Butker.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah.
Harrison Butker made a commencement speech at the Benedict College, which is some like ultra conservative private university or college or whatever,
Yeah.
during the graduation ceremony, where he congratulated the women on getting degrees, but that they should mostly be excited about being able to now get married and have kids. Can I read you what he said?
Absolutely. I have kept myself from like listening to that clip or any of it
Yeah.
because
First
I
of all,
think
he
it.
looks like a mega douche. Like just fucking 87 pounds of pomade in his hair, like beard that's like groomed till it just he's gross. Anyway, he's also 28 years old. And like I don't ever want to listen to the opinion of a 28-year-old rich white man. Okay,
Hmm.
frankly speaking. But he said, quote, I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she started living her vocation as a wife and a mother.
Hmm. Now, as a wife and a mother, is that when you felt that your true vocation truly started, or your life actually started?
No, my life started when I was born. Like, suck my dick, Harrison. What the
Hmm.
hell? Like, also, it's really been rich for him to say all these things because now there's all this stuff coming about like how he was raised. Like his mom is a physicist at a oncology and radiology clinic or radiology hospital
Hmm.
in like, and she's like well known. Like she's like the chief of something. And so he comes from a home with a working parent, a working mother who
Hmm.
likely funded his actual career to become a football player. Like he wasn't raised in like some sort of like single parent household where like or like single income household where like,
Hmm.
it was like some trad wife bullshit. Like no, he was raised by a working mom
Yeah.
and he grew up with wealth. So anyway, I
So
hate it.
this kind of like meshing of Christianity and football is something that has been kind of overtly going on
Yeah.
for, I'd say, like the last 20 years.
Yeah.
um I don't, I don't subscribe to a lot of conspiracy theories or anything like that, but there was this documentary on Netflix that was about some Christian organization. Like it's like, I don't want to call it like a secret Christian, or I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it's an organization that includes like senators and presidents and people from the South and all those things, right? And one of the ways that they felt that the religion could grow or that their movement could grow was through athletics. Like that is
Mhm.
a very overt thing that they do. So when you're watching college football, you see a lot of that. You see a lot of Jesus talk. And part of you says we are also people of faith, right? So when I
Yeah,
see
sure.
somebody of faith, I say, "Hey, I get it. Good for you. You are a faithful person," or something like that. But in Harrison Butker's case, it feels like this isn't really even like something that is led by faith. This feels like something that has been led by like conservative values or like that MAGA mentality or whatever, right? Because sure, you have some backward ass views of women,
Mhm.
because I don't know, that's just the way that you want to view your wife, and you think that her place is in the kitchen, and that's a dynamic that works for you. Fantastic, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't just say that, right? He was also used that opportunity to talk about Joe Biden and
Yes.
like abortion and all those other
Yeah.
things, right? So
Y
it's really not even, I feel like, if anything, it is disrespectful to his Christianity,
yes.
because he's using his Christianity as a jumping off point just because he wants to be seen in this world as something else. He wants to be like, like a conservative social, I don't know what they call them. They don't call them social justice warriors, but just a conservative commentator, right? So
Yeah.
if anything, it cheapens the entire thing,
Yeah.
and it's stupid, right? But what are you gonna do?
He also said that, pride is, what did he say? Something about, like, pride being one of the deadly sins and that it's,
Yeah,
not God-centered. Pride should be
exactly.
about, cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify him. That's some of the wildest words I've ever heard in my life. Cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify him. And, like, I'm not trying to, like, question anybody's, like, religion or anything, and I don't mean to be, like, offensive to the statement itself, but to say that statement at a college, it's like
Well,
that's like a crazy thing to say. He also said IVF and surrogacy are part of like the devil's plan. Like
mhm.
IVF and surrogacy?
I think when we're talking about a college, I think that was his target audience.
Yeah, that's
Not
true.
to begrudge Benedict College or whatever, but I don't think that they are really interested in actual science and actual knowledge. I think it's a Bible college, and there's a lot of colleges that are out there that are like that.
Mhm,
Right?
mhm.
The pride thing was just him trying to be like, I think, smart with words, but it was stupid. He
Yeah.
was talking about how we need to have real pride, not manufactured pride that now has a month associated with it, which is just him just trying to bring two things together just so he can slam gay
Yeah.
people
Yeah. He's like, "And
because
one more
he's just a
thing."
homophobe.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Ugh, anyway, speaking of graduations and things, have you
Hmm.
seen that a lot of graduations this year that are happening, during a lot of the ceremonies, students are using that time to like make a statement about
Hmm.
ceasefire, about Palestine, and also they're walking out on certain commencement speakers. So Jerry
Hmm.
Seinfeld, I can't remember which college he was speaking
Duke.
at. Duke. Okay. He spoke at Duke and a whole bunch of people walked out waving Palestinian flags and everything. And I wanted to know your thoughts on that because somebody said, this is one of the highlights of your life and you're choosing to walk out on it. How stupid are you? I was like, is your Is that a highlight of your life?
Well, what is the highlight? Is the highlight your graduation, or is
No,
the
the
highlight
highlight is that
getting?
Jerry Seinfeld is speaking to you. I don't know about that. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think
What do you say to that? Right?
so.
That Duke one, that Jerry Seinfeld one, is the one that I've actually been thinking about a lot. Also, because I've been thinking a lot about Jerry Seinfeld.
uh,
Jerry Seinfeld. I think you and I both agree was one of our favorite guys. He was one of my favorite guys when we moved to America. He
I saw
was.
him just a couple of years ago in the city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I still love Jerry Seinfeld. Like I still love the Seinfeld show. And more so than that, like what I realized afterwards is, I watched like a whole bunch of like background stuff about Seinfeld and how it was made and how it almost got canceled and stuff. And one of the problems that people had with it, what at the time they said that it was too Jewish, right?
Hmm.
By the time we started watching Seinfeld, I didn't understand. Like that was never a thing for me. I was like, because it was to me, it was just a funny thing.
Yeah.
But I realized after the fact is, the way that he would approach topics and stuff. Apparently, that at the time that felt like to like a primarily white audience, that felt like a Jewish thing.
Yeah.
And that's actually the thing that you and I probably connected with most, right? It's
Yeah.
just like, hey, we just let everything kind of roll off of our back. I think what it comes down to is how soon after a bad thing happens can you make fun of it, which is, I
Yeah.
think, how you and I live our life. And it actually feels like a garagey thing to me more so
Yeah.
than like that sense of humor, right? So
Yeah.
I've been thinking about him a lot because he has now come up specifically in Israel and Palestine conversations.
Yeah.
Um, and I watched this video of him talking about the 5 things that he can't live without. There's this GQ series.
Hmm.
And the last thing that he mentioned of the 5 things, he doesn't show it on camera, but he mentioned that he has a Star of David that he
Hmm.
wears around his neck, right? And he says that he wears that as, in solidarity with people of Israel. And I watched that thing, and you can tell that he's emotional about it. You can tell that
Hmm.
he really feels a strong way about it. And you're like, well, this is a person of Jewish faith that sees that Israel currently is being viewed by the rest of the world in a specific manner. And he is doing what he can to talk, I guess, to vouch for his people, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, I really can't hate that. That is a person that has a close connection to whatever. But the only thing I would say is, you know, for him to just only focus on that part of the story, it's like you have to kind of go out of your way to ignore data to still consider yourself a good person.
Yeah.
And that happens in kind of every conflict, right? You kind of ignore the other side, you ignore the other data because you still want to feel like a good person.
Hmm.
And it feels to me like that is where Jerry Seinfeld is now. He is kind of existing in this thing. I think he is being overtly, he's trying to be more, pro-Israeli. And so if students are walking out on that, it's okay. Like
That's right.
that is their right. That is what they're supposed to do. And you have to be okay. I don't think it really is I would imagine. I don't know if he's come out and said anything about it,
Oh,
but
he visited Israel after October 7th,
yeah.
and then he was signing his name on IDF missiles. So
Oh, so he was signing his name on it. So you know what? Forget everything I just said. Fuck Jerry Seinfeld. Like
yeah,
that is bullshit,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah. It's not even like, here's the thing, like, you're telling this story about, like, first of all, I don't want to downplay the fact that there is an emotional connection there. Like, yes,
mm-hmm,
wearing a Star of David, and holding that in your, against your heart because of the memory that you carry. Because yes, Jerry Seinfeld comes from an age group and a generation where, like, a generation before him knew people who survived the Holocaust. I understand the attachment there and the grief and all that kind of stuff, totally, right? All of those things are true. What is also true is that he supports the IDF wholeheartedly and was
yeah,
signing his name on missiles so that they could drop and kill babies in Gaza. Like, I can't support that, right? So it's like that. I believe that you should absolutely have pride and love and hold space and empathy for the struggles of your people. I think that empathy turning into rage and hubris that murders 40,000 people, not so great. Not so great.
Pretty bad. Pretty. I am so sorry. Like, I was not aware of the
No,
signing
of
bonus.
course, it's fine. It's okay. You don't have to
It's,
apologize. This is how you
I
get it
know.
right. It is what it is. That's what are you gonna do?
Because, like, I think about somebody like Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer can fuck right off, right? I don't give a shit about. But somebody like Jerry Seinfeld, I'm like, well, I understand. No, fuck you, Jerry. And the other thing is, like, within that speech, right? He was talking about Harvard, I think, at some point, and he's like, "Can you imagine this? Harvard used to be a good place. It isn't a good place anymore." What the fuck do you think Jerry Seinfeld was talking
Yeah, of
about here?
course.
He
That's
was talking about
yeah,
it, and I think overall in like the conversation that's been going on, that I think people that are on the pro-Palestinian side, what we recognize is Jerry Seinfeld gets to live in a world where he can fucking sign his name on an IDF missile to murder people and still be, the American Express guy, the fun Jerry Seinfeld guy, and people saying, "Oh, having Jerry Seinfeld talk to you should be the highlight of your
yeah,
life," right?
exactly.
Meanwhile, a student just wears a kafaya around their neck and they are pro Hamas. Like,
Yeah,
that is the
exactly.
bullshit that we're living
Exactly.
with.
Yeah, yeah. There's this clip also going around of like fuck Bill Maher, first of all. But there's a clip going around of Bill Burr sitting with Bill
Hmm.
Maher and they are
Yeah,
talking about, did you see the clip?
yeah,
They're talking about the protests and everything. Bill Maher goes into this whole tirade of blah 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 and this and that, and it would all be over if they just stopped attacking Israel and blah blah. And Bill
yeah,
Burr's like, I support the kids. I
yeah,
support kids. I support students. And he's like, and what have you done for it, Bill? Like, what has
yeah.
Bill Maher done for Israel besides dehumanize Palestinians and Muslims in general and like
Hmm.
constantly talk shit about Arabs? And like, there's nothing that I love Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr
Yeah.
so much. In that moment, I
He's the
was like,
best.
oh, he's the best.
Somebody I know used to go out with a woman who I think she grew up in Israel,
Huh?
but she was pretty progressive, right? I met
Yeah.
her once.
Yeah.
Ever since this thing started, she has been talking. Like, it's kind of striking how quickly she has fallen off,
Yeah.
in terms of like her. She's fallen off in terms of her humanity. There's no other way to
Yeah.
put it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The types of shit that she shares with him or whatever. He sent me an article that she sent him, I think, 2 days ago, which was, the UN has changed the estimated number of deaths in
Mm-hmm.
Gaza, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the UN is no longer going by the number that was given to them by Hamas, but it's brought it down by like 10,000, by
Mm-hmm.
10,000 people, right? And she shared this. This story with him to kind of show, like, oh, look, the other side is full of lies. This stuff isn't happening, right?
Okay.
And you read the article, right? And the reason why the UN has changed its number is because it is not accounting for the 10,000 people that are estimated to be under the fucking rubble.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
it's like, dude, I understand everybody wants to believe that their side is the good side.
Sure.
Everybody wants to believe that that you are not making a mistake they're going to look back on in the future. And we want to be careful, whatever. But if your argument is based in semantics, and those semantics are contingent upon the fact that you can't find 10,000 human beings because their bodies are under rubble or they've been
Mhm.
fucking vaporized, that is a pretty good sign that you're not on the right side.
Yeah, yeah. And also like saying, "Oh, it's not 40,000 people, it's 30,000 people," like also doesn't really help your argument.
Oh, 30,000 is fine.
Okay. All right. If it's only 30,000, then you're right. You're right. You're right. They're good.
Yeah, they were like, she's like, see, it's only 8,000 kids that died. Are you out of your fucking mind?
It's insane. Well, it's crazy because like we're recording today, it's May 15th. It's actually Nakba Day,
Mm-hmm.
which is, Nakba is a catastrophe. It's the initial displacement of Palestinians when the state of Israel was formed. And, Palestinians always say the Nakba never ended. It never ended because if you are
Well,
Palestinian who lives in occupied territory, it is happening every day. The settlers are terrorizing you every single day. Life in the West Bank, it's catastrophic every single day. And so if you don't know anything about it, if you are somebody who says, well, Israel has the right to exist. Let me tell you something. Does any country have the right to exist? Don't even get me started. Okay.
Oh, that's
On
not
it.
good. That's not good.
Let's not get me started about that. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. But it's like everybody has the right to space, to existence,
Mm-hmm.
to worship, and to celebrate their culture and all of those things. They just don't have the right to do that by killing and displacing millions of other people. That's
Mm-hmm.
really all it is. So if you don't know what the Nakba is, look it up, read a little bit about it. That's very important. That's like an important history to understand about how the state of Israel came to be and why the Palestinians are still so upset and why they continue to try not to leave their land and why Israel is saying they're quote unquote evacuating people across the Rafah border
Mm-hmm.
is bullshit, because what they're doing is they're displacing 3 million people into the Sinai, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's insanity.
And just one more thing on this topic, because this ad has been playing a lot during the NBA playoffs.
Oh,
Um, is the I'm sure you've seen the Stop Jewish Hatred,
of
that
course, sure,
organization.
yes.
We
Which,
talked
by the
about this
way,
a bit.
yeah, we agree. Let's not
One
do that.
hundred percent. I 100% agree with that. Right?
Yeah,
I
hot
understand.
take. Let's stop Jewish hate.
Let's stop Jewish hate. Right? So one of the new ads for that I saw was about like, hey, we understand you are upset and you want to protest. We say go out and protest. We say you should go out and protest if you want to, but you shouldn't have Nazi symbols and you shouldn't have all of these things, right? A
Sure,
message I
agree.
100% agree with, right?
Yeah,
It is bullshit when you realize that that organization is also the one that is Israel's lobby in Congress, right?
yeah,
And that is the lobby that is effectively tied any criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism. So no, really, I can't say fucking anything because you are taking my right away.
yeah,
And so
exactly.
it's like, okay, we want to have two different conversations. At least come to me with honesty. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
if you really believe that you have a moral reason for your actions or whatever, just don't you don't have to hide it. Like, and
yeah,
when you do shit like this, that's the reason why.
yeah, exactly. You want to talk about Joseph Robinette?
Biden. I want
Yeah.
to I want to I want to ask you a question, because this is a conversation that we've been having in our
Mhm.
groups recently a
Mhm.
lot.
Mhm.
Is there are a lot of Muslims, again, obviously, that are very upset with the Democratic Party, rightfully so. And there are a lot of Muslims that are going to abstain from a vote.
Mhm.
There are some Muslims that I know that are actively like going out into their communities and talking. Uh, they're trying to drive people away from the Democrats specifically, and they
Sure.
don't care if those people are going to Republicans or not, right?
Mhm.
But these are conversations that we're having, and um, the thing is, like, you know, that point of the Democrats have not earned our vote, the point that Joe Biden has not earned our vote, that he is not deserving of our vote. That is a true statement,
Yeah.
and that is a righteous stance. Like, that is I there's nothing wrong about that, right? Where I get confused, and where I think I ultimately make my decision, is I can't also ignore the truth that if I don't vote for Joe Biden, if other people don't vote for Joe Biden, somebody else is going to be elected into power, right?
Mhm.
And that somebody else is going to be obviously worse for Muslims here
Yeah.
and for Gaza, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do with that?
A flatulent
Um,
fraudster.
a flatulent fraudster, yeah. So it's like, I don't know, because we're having this conversation, and the guys are like, we have to respect our vote. We have to make sure that they understand that our vote isn't free. Like, we're not going to be
Yeah.
scared and all that stuff, right?
So,
And I'm like, yes, I agree, but also, if he does lose, then you understand what the other thing is, right?
yeah, let's just say a couple of things. First of all, Donald Trump is far worse for Black people, Muslim people, gay people, everybody, every marginalized person, women,
Mm-hmm.
in this country. 100,000%. That is true. He's also not any better, possibly even worse for Palestine. Um, there's something called so right now on June 4th is the primary, right? And so what I've actually been really tracking, and it's something that they're actually doing in New Jersey, is called the uncommitted vote. And
Mhm.
so that's really where I say, like, if you really mean it, if you really want Joe, if you really think that there should be a change happening, that we need to push something through, and you want to send a message to the Democrats that says, you don't get to fucking just have my vote because I'm a brown person, on June 4th, there is something called the uncommitted vote. Okay. In New
Mhm.
Jersey, not every single state has it. New Jersey has it. I believe New York has it too. And it's important for Democratic states to have it. I'm pretty sure California does too. These blue states are having it because they want you to know, they want the Democrats to know that you're at risk to turning red. And you have to change the way that you've been moving, because like Biden just signed off another $1 billion to like Israel for aid, so
Mhm.
for weapons. So in New Jersey, you when you look at the ballot, there's something on the ballot. It's called uncommitted NJ, and underneath it says justice for Palestine, permanent ceasefire now. And so for the people who are like, I'm not voting because all of them are bad, okay, that's one way to do it. But if you really
Yeah.
want to show them that there is a significant number of people who are going to flip your fucking state red if the Democrats don't get it the fuck together, then go on June 4th. If your
Mhm.
primary ballot has uncommitted, vote uncommitted, because we want them to know that this is something that could happen. And it gives, like, do I think that he should have, noticed in November? Yeah, when he went
Yeah.
to Michigan in November or December and nobody wanted to meet with him. Yes, he should have switched something then when he had iftars in at the White House and nobody attended. Yes, he should have noticed then. But, ultimately, we as Muslims have to realize that we're still a fairly new demographic,
Mhm.
and this country does not realize that we have the power that we have. And I think they also don't realize that like the Palestine issue is a big issue not just for Muslims but for all people. It's a big issue for Jewish
Yeah.
people too, because all of these college protests are actually being led by the Jewish students of these colleges, right? So I think that if you want that to be if you want that to really like hit them home, I think that voting in the primary on June 4th as uncommitted is the best we can do right now.
Exactly. And I think
And
that's the
and
other.
I want to say that if you're Palestinian and you don't want to vote in November because nothing's going to change a year in the year that it'll be at that point of this war, and we have um people in at the border of Gaza and Israel now celebrating and destroying aid, and kids destroying Israeli kids destroying aid that they're trying to get into Gaza. If that still continues and the US continues to fund it and you don't want to vote, that's fine.
Yeah. I think
And it's
that
and
should
it
all.
fucking and it sucks. It
Yep.
sucks. It's awful. It's awful, but the I would never ever tell somebody that they still have to vote for Joe Biden if that is what they're seeing their people subjected to on your tax dollars. It's just
Exactly. I think essentially that's what it comes down to. That this is unfortunately two, not just choosing between two evils or the lesser of two evils. This is honestly choosing between like, a diarrhea soup or like a diarrhea sandwich. It is both just 100% bullshit, right? And again, I think that should actually be a disclaimer is you and I are able to have this conversation,
yeah.
and we're able to have a conversation about like, well, how is like the political system going to work out in our favor against us because we still have to be Americans that live here, past blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like that is, that's a conversation that we have the privilege of being able to have, because even though our hearts bleed for the Palestinians and our we this is an issue that we have cared about our entire life, right? So we think that we have a pretty good idea of what it feels like. We have no idea.
We have no
It
idea.
is the proximity to death that a Palestinian person has to endure is unlike anything for, I think, any other Muslim in the world,
Yeah,
right?
if you talk to a Palestinian in New Jersey or anywhere,
Hmm.
if you talk to a Palestinian anywhere, they know hundreds of people that have died.
Exactly.
Hundreds of the people who have lost entire families, right? So it's like, what do we do? What do we do? Do we vote for fucking worms for brain, RFK Jr.?
VP Aaron Rodgers isn't sounding so bad to me right now.
Oh my god,
If
is that true
No, it's not him. It's who is going to be the VP
for
is
RFK Jr.?
yeah, it's Sergey Brin's ex-wife. Do you know who that is?
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Brin was one of the founders of Google.
Okay,
Um, and his ex-wife. And this sucks because I'm sure she's a very accomplished woman, and she's a billionaire. I believe she's a doctor
Nicole
or a
Shanahan.
scientist. Yes.
Okay,
But she used to be like an ultra liberal person, but
uh-huh.
now apparently she's RFK Jr.'s VP.
Is she 12?
She's she's not bad looking.
No,
I'd vote for it.
she's pretty, but she looks
I
like
know.
she's approximately 7 years old. She graduated from. Okay, she's my age. You
Yeah.
know, do I? Oh my gosh, she's younger than me. She did an entire month younger than me. All right. Well, Nicole, good luck to you. Would what did you read this thing that RFK Jr. said very openly that he suffered short-term memory loss and
Hmm.
also some long-term memory loss, and then he says that doctors believe that the abnormalities seen on his brain scans were quote caused by a worm that got into my brain and ate a portion of it and then it died.
Um, you mentioned that he suffered some short-term memory loss and then also some long-term memory loss.
That's
So
all memory.
it's just memory. He's just lost the memory.
What do you call that when it's short term and long term?
You call it memory loss.
What do you call it when that happens? Because a parasite ate portions of your brain and then died inside of your brain.
Now, do you think the parasite gets to experience those memories? That would be.
I want to know. Let's get I wish the parasite didn't die. Did it leave a letter? Did it leave
Yeah.
a journal? Maybe
Let's
something.
get him on the pod.
Hey, parasite, if you're listening, hop on. Now, allegedly, NPR says that this is a common thing that's happening all over the country where people
No.
are actually reporting some sort of parasitic infection that gets into your brain and then eats portions of your brain. I'm like,
If it can be targeted memory loss, I would sign up for that. There's some memories that I could live without.
no, I think that's the problem. It's never targeted. It's the memories that
No.
you need. Like we
Mm.
saw our cousins this weekend, right? And I couldn't remember the lyrics to songs. And I said, "Oh, as I get older, I just know I don't remember lyrics to songs anymore." And our cousin very seriously, oh, Saad, he listens to the podcast. Hi, Saad. He very seriously said, "Oh, yeah, well, our brains are rotting." And I was like, "You're right. That's right. That's the problem." So
Hmm.
anyway,
I forgot that my brain was rotting
because you have short term and long term
and
memory
long term.
loss. He did say that he could debate both Trump and Biden under the table despite the fact that portions of his brain are missing. And I don't think that that's unbelievable. I think that's pretty accurate.
Did you know? I don't know if you saw. It just happened a couple of hours ago. Debate June 27th. Biden and Trump. You're going to tune in, right? I'm going to tune in.
Yeah, of course. What else am I going to do? What the fuck
That's right.
else are we going to do? There's nothing else.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. Somebody left me, by the way, an Apple review saying that they believe
Hmm.
that I'm a Trumper now. So let me just
Oh,
clarify.
why?
I don't probably because I'm not super pro Biden right now, and so they just
Hmm.
assumed that the opposite is that I'm a Trumper. No, I called him a flatulent fraudster. Like
Hmm.
I'm not pro Trump, everybody, but yeah, it's like watching like just like two of the oldest men in the world, just like it's upsetting to think about. You know, it's upsetting to
It's
think.
like it's like watching two of the oldest men in the world like try to fuck each other, and they're just terrible at it, and they just hate each other, and it's just like, dude, why are you even doing this? I'd want to see good old man sex. I don't want to see this. Neither
Okay,
of you are.
I don't like any of the pictures that you've
Yeah, I don't know
drawn.
why.
I don't know why
I don't
you
know why. I don't know. I went down that road. Um. But yeah, no, it sucks.
just
Can you
blame
take
your
that out?
brain worms.
Yeah, blame my brain. Please delete that. Delete that from your memories.
Do you think that Prince or King Charles is suffering from loss of taste because of brain worms?
Maybe.
Do you think it's because he's actually a lizard in a skin suit?
I feel like I like Chuck more than you do. I find I can
You
find
find him
ways to love
endearing,
Chuck.
but you
I
don't.
do. I really
You
do.
famously love white people, so I feel like
That's
that's
not
not
it.
very hard for you.
You know what it is for me is I think it was season 4 of The Crown. Young Chuck giving that speech in Welsh
Yeah.
kind of did it for me.
All right.
I like that guy.
Congratulations. Um, one more thing I wanted to tell you. Wait, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? It's related to Trump. Okay. This is actually from a couple of weeks ago, but I just wanted to read this tweet that Trump posted, I guess, on MAGA social or the fuck he is on. And it was about Bill Barr because Bill Barr apparently endorsed Trump. And this was the tweet.
He did.
Yeah, he said, "Wow, former AG Bill Barr, who let a lot of great people down by not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president, despite the fact that I called him, quote, weak, slow moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy." And
Hmm.
in parentheses, he wrote New York Post, because it's important for people to know where to get his quotes from.
Hmm.
Based on the fact that I greatly appreciate his wholehearted endorsement, I'm removing the word lethargic from my statement.
It is.
It's it's unfortunate how much this man makes me laugh.
He's hilarious.
He is so fucking funny. He is just destroying the earth and a terrible person, and we are all at his mercy. So
He is inconveniently funny at times, right? But then it's also like, he in Bill Barr, that stupid fuck, just endorsed him again after everything that he saw, right?
yeah.
He endorsed just fucking like hoard himself out again.
Yes.
Trump takes that and he slams him again. He uses a tweet to slam him again, and Bill Barr will do nothing.
Mm-mm.
He does not care. It's like these people like being pissed on. I don't know why. I don't get it. It's like the same thing with fucking Ted Cruz,
Yeah.
remember? Like
Yeah.
Ted Cruz now, like, he grew out a beard because he tries to pretend like he's a real man or whatever. And it's like, dude, did you forget that Trump called your wife ugly and you voted for him?
Hmm. 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 Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't get it.
I don't understand it. Um, Raheel, did you know? And I know you're not a big fan of this place because of
Hmm.
your shellfish allergy, but are you aware that Red Lobster is closing dozens of its locations throughout the country, and we might be
Um,
losing Cheddar Bay biscuits forever?
yes. So I don't actually. I like Red Lobster for that reason. For two reasons. Number one, it's a Cheddar Bay biscuits. Number two is I've never had a shellfish allergy at Red Lobster. They're very good with their utensils. I mean,
Oh,
I've never eaten.
oh, oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay. I was like, wait a minute, you're not allergic. You're like, not allergic to shellfish at Red Lobster.
no.
Yeah, apparently, if you go into a Red Lobster, you're not even going to see any lobsters in the tank.
Oh,
It's
what are
just
they
an
cooking back there?
I don't know. I don't know. But apparently this also happened because of their constant endless shrimp sales.
Oh, they lost all the shrimp.
They lost
Too many shrimps.
but if like I just as I get older, obviously, like
Hmm.
I when we like to go out to eat, we like to eat like at a nice local restaurant. Like we're not really fast food people, but like
Hmm.
I love hitting up one of these chain restaurants.
Yeah,
Houlihan's, a big favorite of ours.
Olive Garden, not bad.
Olive Garden. Who doesn't love it? We had one Olive Garden in our town, like in like a 20-mile radius. It's closed.
Hmm.
It's gone. I bet it's because of all of their endless pasta bowls.
Yeah, too many pasta.
You
Too many
guys,
pastas.
they shouldn't have done it. They should not have
No,
done it. But
I think they underestimated how just
disgusting we
gluttonous
are.
we are. Yeah, exactly. The challenge really endless.
Yeah. They were like, "No, certainly nobody would just sit there for several sittings." And they're like, "No, we're in the red." So- Somebody keeps showing up.
Mhm.
Anyway, what topics do you have to discuss? You want to talk about Tom Brady?
I do have two quick topics.
Okay.
Tom Brady. Now, did you watch any of the roast?
I did. Yes.
Okay. What did you think of it?
It was good. It was fine. I was surprised at how defensive he was of Robert Kraft,
Robert Kraft.
but
Yes.
not very defensive of the children of his mother. But I know that Tom Brady's
The mother
historically
of his
not been,
children.
oh, whatever, yeah. Um, Tom Brady's historically been pretty shitty to the mother of his children. So,
So that when I was watching it, that's what I noticed also. I was like, it is kind of telling that he got upset about a massage joke, and all he said was massage. He didn't
mhm.
even say it like any, and he got right into it. Now, I think the reason why he did was because before the roast, he said that those two topics were off the table, which is funny because it's massage.
Yeah.
The Robert Kraft was off the table, and his kids,
Hmm.
specifically his kids, were off the table,
Hmm.
right? And then you watch the thing, and it's like these Giselle jokes are pretty crude.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild, right? And you're like, why the fuck did you not think of including that in in the things that is off the table? Have you heard what's happened since?
Now I hear that he made some sort of a statement that like he's not going to let his kids watch it, or like he apologized to his kids or something. Like how?
So afterwards, Giselle came out and she said that this was bullshit and I don't appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, that she was
Yeah.
disappointed. And then yesterday, Tom Brady said that he did not realize how bad the roast was going to be, and he feels bad about it, and that he regrets it. And if he had a chance to do it again, he wouldn't do it. Right.
Okay.
The interesting thing to me is right after the roast happened, right? The reviews of it were just like this was a night. This was an amazing night. Everybody's happy. True comedy is back. Everybody had a great time. Tom Brady has a great sense of humor. Nobody felt bad. Everything was great, and this is what everybody said,
Yeah.
right? Now that there is a little bit of backtracking, I wonder if everybody's going to change their mind about that now. If they're
Mm.
going to be like, oh, you know what? We didn't consider Giselle's feelings and thing because it is absolute bullshit. Like Tom Brady wanted to get roasted, and the reason
Yeah.
why Tom Brady wanted to get roasted, I think there's a story behind that also.
Uh-huh.
I think it's because for most of his career, Tom Brady was like this robot person that
Yeah.
everybody hated, like because he lived this charmed life, right? And in the last few years, he has been showing more of his personality.
Yeah.
And his personality, he has a pretty good personality. He's pretty funny. Like him playing golf with Charles Barkley and stuff, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady just doesn't want to be like a fun guy. He also wants to, I think he wants to move into like the parts of sports media that's like occupied by like Barstool, right?
Yeah.
Which is it's not my cup of tea when it comes to sports media, but it is one that's very, very popular and it's
Well,
very
I can tell
lucrative.
you, listeners of this podcast are not listening to Barstool Sports, so I think
Exactly.
we can trash it here if
We
we
can
want to.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, some people, I know a lot of people that they love like the pizza reviews or whatever, but
Mm.
whatever.
Pizza
And I
reviews or
think
whatever. Ugh.
I think that's where Tom Brady wants to move, and he thought that this is what would get him there. And I think he was kind of okay with it until Giselle actually said something. So
Yeah.
all in all, I think Tom Brady looks like an asshole. Like
Just like I feel like you got to stick to your guns, right? I think like you can't say like, "Oh, I didn't think about it." Like, what do
exactly,
you mean
like
you didn't think about
the
it?
jokes are already out there.
Yeah,
What does
like
that mean?
we know
What the
that you
fuck did
thought
you think
about
was going to
we know
happen?
that you thought about it because you put stipulations in place about things that could or
Exactly.
couldn't be talked about. You came up on stage and stopped a joke because you did not like it, but
Hmm.
you didn't stop anything about Giselle. Like, so I think like this whole thing of like, I don't know. I just like I mentioned this word to you earlier today, weaponized incompetence. It's like bullshit. It's like you
Yeah.
can't just say like, I just like didn't think about it. Like,
Hmm.
no, you're 45 fucking years old. Like you're good. You can
Yeah.
figure this out. Um, I will say related to Tom Brady is that at this roast is that Ben Affleck was there.
Oh, rough. What was that?
Well, let me tell you something. Hot off the
Oh,
press.
oh.
Hot off the press. TMZ just reported. Hold on, let me read it to you. Jennifer Lopez and oh fuck, Instagram does this shit all the time. God damn it. It was just open and now it's gone. Okay.
Mhm.
TMZ has reported that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are reportedly, quote, headed for divorce. He, quote, already moved out.
What?
Yeah.
Again?
Again. Okay. Camelot has fallen again. The actor did not attend the Met Gala with his wife on May 6th, despite her important position as co chair of the event. Ben's official excuse for missing the Met Gala was that he was too busy filming The Accountant 2. But In Touch's sources say he, quote, decided to call it quits on his marriage to the A-list singer. He's focusing on his work and his kids. Ben already moved out, and they'll likely have to sell the dream house they spent 2 years searching for. They'll never stop loving each other, but she can't control him and he can't change her. There's no way it could have lasted.
Oh my god.
Okay, can I just say that makes me sad?
It makes me, I don't know how I think about like Bennifer the first time was a fun thing.
Yeah.
Remember? We were
Yeah.
all looking forward to the wedding, and then it fell apart, and then
Yeah.
it was still like I think for both of their like private lives or something, or their gossip lives. I think that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing that they've been a part of.
Yeah.
And then when it came back around, it was like,
It
oh my god,
was like the stars aligned. We're like, oh,
exactly.
they needed time apart to find each other again. She just had that like documentary or whatever that she
I
made.
think that's part of it.
Yeah.
She's not doing well. She's not doing that well.
I know because I think that she thinks that maybe she's more important than she is.
She
But
overestimated herself.
she
Yeah.
overestimated herself, yeah, and so, anyway, good luck to them, I guess,
Yeah.
then I hope you get whatever help you need because maybe he just, like, shouldn't be married. Maybe that's just not a life for him. Maybe he
I
sees
think.
Matt Damon married to his, like, longtime teacher wife, and
Mhm.
he wishes that for himself, and maybe that's just not the life for him, some
It's
people
just
just
not in
don't
the
need to
cards
be
for some
married.
of us.
That's okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Unless
Yeah,
it's Dolores Catania and you.
of course, of course.
I'm not kidding. Every week I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna manifest it.
Yeah, exactly. I think we should. That if there's anything good that comes out of this stupid fucking podcast, it should be me and Dolores Catania. Just
What
one other
other topic? Yes, one last
real
topic.
quick. Yesterday was the WNBA debut of Caitlin Clark, which is important since she invented the game of women's basketball
Yeah, yeah,
masterpiece
yeah. It didn't
herself.
exist before her. Yeah.
So she did. She had kind of a rough game. She had, I think, 10 turnovers, 20 points. It was okay, but it's a big deal. And I don't know if you have been following any of the Caitlin Clark in the WNBA stories or anything. If that's something that's come across your timeline or anything like that, but it's interesting. It's interesting what's happening there.
How did the ratings for the game show up after she joined the league? Because that was the big thing. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, Caitlin Clark's getting all this attention. Hopefully, this will bring more viewership to the WNBA.
I'll say this: the ratings in the basketball group and the basketball WhatsApp groups I'm in were very, really, really high. Right?
Oh, okay.
People wanted to check out Caitlyn. When she started to struggle, people were like, "Oh, this sucks." Right? They're like, she started off the game pretty bad, and they were like, "Oh, she's done. She can't handle it. Whatever." Um, but I think the more important thing is like, so they say that she has a lot of pressure to be good because the entire WNBA is counting on her. And I get that and I think we should all be rooting for Caitlin Clark because that is good. I mean, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, her being successful is going to continue to grow the sport, and that's also good. But I also think that it is also an opportunity for the WNBA now that they do have eyeballs to be like, yeah, she's really good and we're
Yeah.
rooting for her. But the reason why she is struggling is because there are other great players that are better. And they
Yeah.
have been better players this entire
This
fucking
entire
time. It's
time.
just
Yeah.
the fact that you haven't paid attention. Some of that is changing. So this player named Aja Wilson,
Mhm.
who is she is the best basketball player in the world,
Oh,
right?
wow. Okay.
She is hands down the best basketball player in the world. All she has done since leaving college is I think she's a two-time MVP, a two-time champion, a two-time defensive player of the year. She is the best player in the world. And after Caitlin Clark got drafted in the WNBA, and after she signed her Nike deal, Nike finally gave Aja Wilson her own signature shoe,
Okay.
right? Which is,
Yeah.
and a lot of that stuff is happening. So you'll see WNBA players in like statewide commercials because that's, Caitlin Clark's
Yeah,
does
yeah.
statewide. So now they're including other WNBA players. And it's like, okay, it feels like all of these big corporations are kind of doing the work backwards. But at the end of the day, that's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
They should still get recognition. Another thing that I've seen a lot is there's a lot of like social media chatter about pregame fits
Okay.
of like when they're walking in and what
Yeah, of
they're
course.
wearing. There's some of that happens for the men also, and you say, well, you know that is, I don't think that that's a bad thing, especially
No.
when it comes to female basketball players that have historically been kind of derided for their looks, which
Yeah.
is really rooted in racism.
Yes.
If you remember fucking Don Imus and the Rutgers team and stuff,
Yeah, of
that's the
course.
shit, right? So for them to get their shine, that is a good thing. All
Yeah.
that stuff is good, right? But at the end of the day, it has to be about the players and their talent and the game,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Asia Wilson is, aside from being a really great basketball player, she is an exceptional human being. Like when you look at her social justice stuff, like all the stuff that she has done in the past, she's an exceptional human being. She should have been getting this attention this entire time.
Yeah.
What I wish happens is that people make sure that they check out the rest of those stories too,
Yeah.
because the WNBA really actually has had a lot of history when it comes to social justice stuff. People just don't know about it.
Yeah,
Like,
of
did you
course.
know before Colin Kaepernick, WNBA players were kneeling for the national anthem?
I
Yeah,
did not know that. No.
in 2016, WNBA players got fined for wearing black T-shirts pregame because they were protesting the shooting of black men. They got fined for it, right? And then the WNBA reversed the decision, but this is way before any NBA team did anything. Same thing with during the Black Lives Matter protest, or what was that, 2020, right? The
Yeah.
George Floyd stuff. There's a team called the Atlanta Dream,
Mhm.
right? The owner of the team was, remember that Senator Kelly Loeffler?
Yeah.
Remember that piece of shit from Georgia?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She owned the team,
Oh,
and so,
yeah.
so when the players were protesting, she gave them shit for it. And the point is these women have been doing the work for fucking decades. The
Yeah.
fact that Caitlin Clark is now shining a light on it, on the game, is good.
Yeah.
But you still have time to go back and recognize other people,
Yeah.
and because that is what you should do.
Well, a good ally would be that Caitlin Clark, as she continues to shine a light on it. Like I know that when she
Mhm.
was on SNL, she shouted out Maya Moore. So, is it frustrating? Of course, to see that taking so long, but we live in a white supremacist world, and
Yeah,
just the way that people of privilege have to continue to shine their lights on people who are marginalized, because that's the only
exactly.
way we can get change to happen.
And again, this isn't anything against Caitlin Clark. I think she's done everything the right way. I think she talks about people whenever she gets a chance or whatever, and I'm rooting for her to succeed. But
Yeah.
we
My girl
also kind of,
Angel Reese was at the Met Gala and she looked amazing. And
hmm, yeah,
everyone was like, "Oh, what is she doing there?" And I was like, "What is she doing there? She deserves to be there. She was invited there by Anna Wintour and she showed up and she looked amazing." So,
the dirty secret about all this Caitlin Clark stuff is that people would not have cared about Caitlin Clark if it wasn't rooted in their racism against Angel Reese.
that's right. Exactly. So,
That is the reason why. So,
what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Listen, there's a list that some website called The Geek or something like that listed
hmm,
of the top 30 most hated celebrities.
oh,
And speaking of things just being rooted in racism and misogyny, one of why don't you tell me, who do you think that the most hated celebrity is?
the most hated. I don't know. Does what's his name? Does Andrew Tate count as a celebrity?
No, and he's not on
Okay.
the list. Yeah.
Um, Racist and misogyny. I have no idea. Donald Trump? I don't know.
The most hated A-list celebrity of 2024 is Amber Heard.
Really?
And she's on guess who number 2 is?
Who?
Meghan Markle. Okay. Okay. Guess who number 3 is?
Who?
Um, Ellen, which is
Uh,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Number 5, Oprah. No, number
Oh.
5, Jada.
Oh.
Number 6, Oprah.
Oh.
And then after that, it's Sean Diddy Combs. And
Oh.
then
Okay.
after that, it's Bill Cosby.
Oh.
What's
Hey, what
his
about Harvey Weinstein? Is he on the list?
not on the list. Number 10 is Chris Brown.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
I s-
Douchebags Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they're like in the 20s. Okay, Kanye
Amazing.
West down in number 16. Just dog shit people. And they're like, oh, Woody Allen is number 29.
Oh,
So,
good.
listen, the internet is full of idiots. It was like
Yes.
recent polls and I was like, "What? Who did you poll?"
You know that entire article was made just to infuriate you.
I
That
know.
is the reason why that stuff was
I
made.
know, you're right. You're right. You're
We
right.
fell into the trap.
I did it. They clickbaited me and I took the bait. And
Yep.
here I'm talking about it. Well, I didn't talk about the website. I don't even know. I didn't shout it. I said some geeky website, but I'm
Hmm.
not going to say their name now.
Yeah.
Anyway, misogyny, huh? What are you going to do?
Mm, nothing. It's
Nothing.
great.
Great for you.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it for this episode. I'll be back on Friday to talk to Arthi about all of the things going on Bravo. And I know you were worried about this because there were some allegations against Andy Cohen, but I want you to know that, quote, independent investigators
Oh,
cleared
good.
him. Yeah, they cleared him. It's fine. And he got renewed for Watch What Happens Live, got renewed for another season. So,
Well, as long as they did the work, my heart is settled.
exactly.